long barbed wire, they'll break for those hills.
Hey, barbed wire. Take a look at that water. It's getting less and less.
I've never known Wrangell River to ever let us down like this before.
I think I'll take a run over to the homestead and have a talk with the boss. You better come along, too. Come on.
Thank you, Lonely. Go round to the kitchen and get a cup of tea.
Thank you, miss. Come on here.
What have we got there, Minna?
A letter, sir. It's from London.
Oh, they run to tell Lonely to wait. There'll be an answer to this.
Yes, sir. More tea, Mr. Lawton?
No, thank you, Minna. What was it?
A letter from London.
Oh.
There's Black. That means Lawton's here. Come on.
Cut it out! Cut it out! Cut it out!
Well, if it isn't my old friend, Black.
Hello, barbed wire.
Hello, Black.
Oh, you're busy.
Yeah. I've just had a letter from Marion. She needs more money. I've got to get a check off to her at once.
Oh, I see. I say, Dan, by the way, if you decide to sell that young bull I won, let me know, will you? I'll see you in a day or so.
Yeah, certainly.
Fine. Cheerio.
See you.
Hiya, Drake.
So long, Lawton. Was Lawton pestering you again about buying that prize bull?
Yeah, Stakey was.
Well, why don't you tell him once and for all that he can't have it, Dan? You know that he's a competitor for our meat contract, and he's simply trying to improve his own stock. That contract's worth thousands to us. And the only reason we landed it was because our cattle were better than his.
You don't like Lawton, do you?
Not particularly, no.
You must remember, he's one of our neighbors. And you must admit that he's been a good friend to me when I needed one.
You believe in everybody, don't you, Dan?
Just had a letter from Marion.
So this check tells me. Look here, Dan, there's something that's got to be said. And don't blame me if you don't like it.
What's the trouble?
3 things. Wrangell River, Marion, and you.
I don't understand you, Dick.
Well, then perhaps I better explain it to you so you will understand. First of all, Wrangell River's failing us. You know that. And if it dries up, the cattle will lose condition, and that means we'll lose the meat contract. We need a well, Dan. Need it desperately. And yet you say we can't afford to bore for water. Why? I'll tell you why. Because of the money that Marion spends for gowns and jewels and expensive parties and flying trips all over Europe, that's why. You've completely spoiled her, Dan.
That's pretty straight talk, Dick.
I always try and talk straight. The plain truth of the matter is, it's about time that Marion quit spending money and came home and made herself useful. She's been a great expense to you, Dan. An expense you couldn't afford.
Perhaps I can't quite afford it, Dick. But I want Marion to have all the things she's been having. I want her to be happy and get the best out of life. And how can she do that if I don't send her money?
And how will you be able to send her money when you're broke? And that's what'll happen, Dan, if we don't get water.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about that. Randall River hasn't failed us as yet. And if it does, well, we can raise money, sink a bore somehow.
How?
Well, we can... Well, I'll leave it to you to look after the water, and I'll look after Marion. There's a girl that's just got to have things. What's a few £100 anyway? Eh, Dick? Eh? Yeah, give this to Lonely, will you, Dick? See you later.
No, not yet.
And how much is the fare to India? Single? Oh, of course, yes.
He means he's single, but he wants to return.
Yeah, that's right. Green.
Oh, I do wish you'd hurry. Our plane leaves in 3 minutes.
Name, sir? Manister. Private Children. Initials? R.M. St. John C. R.M. St. John C. Reginald Morton St. John Cough. Oh, call me Reginald or I'll miss the bus.
It's all right, sir. That's only the Australian plane warming up.
Australia? That's an extraordinary thing. Fancy anyone going to Australia?
Oh, nice fellas, they're Australians, sir. Met some of them in the war. Showed me how to play poker.
Yes, I know. That's all very well. So, I mean, anybody in their right senses. Have you got all the luggage ready, Green?
Yes, sir, I've got it all numbered.
Excuse me, if you don't mind.
Not at all. Frightfully sorry.
Would you fix these transfers, please?
Oh, yes, you're the two ladies for Australia, transferring it down.
I'd hate the pilot to go without us.
Has he seen you yet?
Oh, yes, we've come from London.
I don't think he'd go without you. I think he'd rather miss his meals.
Thank you for that assurance, young man.
Not at all.
And you're delighted?
Absolutely.
And it's a pleasure?
Quite.
I thought so. Come along, Marion. Thank you very much.
See you later. Goodbye.
Bye.
Have a nice trip. Quickly, give me a ticket to Australia.
But you said India.
My dear chap, I distinctly said Australia. Didn't I, Green?
Distinctly, sir.
Yes.
Pardon me, sir,
What
but
is it,
do you think you're in your right senses, sir?
Green?
Sorry, sir.
Now listen, tell that pilot to warm the engines a bit longer, will you?
Right, sir.
Tell him I like them nice and hot.
Yes, sir.
How much is that fare?
36 pounds.
36 pounds. Right. Now hurry up, Green.
Go, sir.
Otherwise I might miss her.
Go, sir.
Right. The black 7 on the red 8.
Thank you.
Quite right. Jack of hearts on the queen of clubs. You're playing awfully carelessly, aren't you?
You know, it's a pity you haven't been with us all the way, young man. You'd have been a great help to me.
Thank you.
By the way, I thought I heard you booking for India.
India? Oh, no. I'm going to Australia. I had some friends there, you know.
And where in Australia?
Where? Where? A place near Coombe.
Coombe?
Yes, I'm going to do some prospecting there. Might be quite interesting, don't you think?
Very. And what are you prospecting for?
The 9 of diamonds on the 10 of clubs. This is rotten luck. The only friends I have in the country are on their way to Colombo.
How unfortunate, Mr. Manister. And what will you do now?
What? Well, I don't know what I shall do, really. I mean, here I am, Australia. I'd like to see a bit of the country, of course. But I suppose I shall have to toddle back to Singapore and give up all my ideas of prospecting.
You know, we have some really lovely prospecting near our place at Wrangle River.
Really?
Yes. And if you'd like to come along as our guest for a week or two, I'm sure my father would be delighted. Don't you think so, Abby?
Well, thank you very much indeed, Miss Hastings. That's awfully nice. Yes, I'd love to come. I can do my prospecting all over the place, sir. That's frightfully nice of you. Can't you read what's written there? I'm telling you for the last time, these are Wrangle River trucks and you can't use them for your cattle.
I say they're Lawton's trucks, and I'm going to use them.
Well, try it, Black.
All right.
Ah, sophistic display. Outpost of the Empire. Splendid.
Come on, let's get a ringside seat. Naughty. Who is that man?
That's Drake of Wrangle River, miss.
Come on, barbed wire. Let's load our trucks.
Hey, I knew he's getting hot. Yeah, but it was fair, didn't it?
Hurry it up, barbed wire.
Are you Richard Drake?
What's left of me?
You're the rough and ready, great outdoor type, aren't you?
Beg your pardon?
And you rather fancy yourself as being a two-fisted man's man, don't you?
Well,
Well, I want to tell you, Mr. Drake, that you impress a casual observer like myself as being something of a bully.
What?
And you usually talk to ladies with your hat on.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Just, who is the lady I'm talking to?
I'm Marion Hastings.
Oh, I see.
And about that letter you sent me calling me...
I haven't time to talk about that now. I sent it. You got it. The letter explained everything, I think. Excuse me.
Yes, you are bad-mannered, Mr. Drake. And incidentally, I want to tell you I didn't enjoy that brutal exhibition.
I don't suppose you did. They don't teach that sort of thing in the smart finishing schools in England, do they?
No, but they do teach good manners.
Well, Miss Hastings, your good manners will be a great deal of help to our thirsty cattle at Wrangle River. In fact, your valuable experience on the continent will undoubtedly solve our entire problem. Now, just what do you suggest we do first?
I suggest you acquire some intelligence and stop treating men like cattle.
Now, wait a minute, Miss Hastings. In the first place, you've only just arrived here, and so you don't know whether we use our intelligence or not. In the second place, there are some men who deserve being treated like cattle. And in the third place, since you've been abroad for 15 years, wasting your father's money and generally making yourself useless, you shouldn't voice an opinion, because you can't have any conception of what we're up against here.
Well, Mr. Drake, suppose you tell me in your charming and courteous manner just what you are up against.
You, among other things.
I say, what a fight. Drake, what a fighter. Probably a descendant of Sir Francis Drake, huh? Great chap.
Our opinions differ, Mr. Manister.
Huh? Oh, I suppose so, yes.
Stay for dinner tonight, Donald. I've been a bit worried. I'd like to have a talk to you.
About the river drying up, you mean?
Yeah. How are you off for water?
Oh, I haven't.
There's a car coming.
Could you tell me where... Daddy! Daddy! Darling,
Marion, my little kitty.
I'm so glad to be back.
I say, Mrs. Abbott.
Let me have a look at you. You haven't changed a bit.
Not after 15 years?
No, I knew you the moment I saw you.
Well, Dan Hastings, haven't you got a word of welcome for your sister?
Abby, my dear, welcome home. Lawton, my sister.
How do you do?
Tom, I'm sure.
And daughter.
How do you do?
Well, this is an unexpected pleasure.
Just a moment, Daddy. Daddy, I want you to
Oh,
meet...
this is Flight Lieutenant Manister of the RAF, I believe.
Absolutely.
How do you do, sir?
How do you do?
As he was visiting Australia on leave, I took the liberty of asking him to come and stay with us for a few weeks.
Yes, it was very kind of your daughter. I appreciate it very much indeed.
You're very welcome, Mr. Manister.
Thanks. I think I shall have a great time here. Do you know, this place has got quite a grip on me already.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy your stay with us.
Thank you, sir.
But come along inside, all of you.
Oh, the luggage.
I say, what about giving a hand with the luggage?
Oh, of course.
My dear, it's just as if a little bit of heaven has come right into this home just now.
Is it, Dad?
Oh, I missed you terribly. But just seeing you makes me satisfied with all the lonely years.
They'll never be lonely for you again, Daddy.
But what brought you home so unexpectedly, dear?
I missed you, too. Besides, I received a letter from a man named Drake.
Delightful dinner, Dan. Just like old times.
And there's your old sir waiting for you,
But
Abby.
how charming.
Are you happy?
Very happy, Dad.
May I? I say, old boy, how do you make that damper stuff you were talking about? Frightfully indigestible, I'd say.
Well, damper's the Australian bushman's bread. It's quite simply made. The dough's merely dumped in the hot ashes of a fire. Oh, actually, it's most delicious.
Sounds awfully jolly. Oh, shall I get rid of that for you?
Who's that singing?
It'll be some of the boys coming back from the railway siding.
Who's that leading the singing? He has a splendid voice.
That'll be Drake.
Oh, Drake.
Thundering hoofs that legend, oh, God knows where, forget 'em. Hang up your boots and saddles, forget all your aches and pains, and sing us the song we all love, the song of the plains.
me how Black's crowd knew we were shipping our cattle today.
Me too. There's lots of things around here that beats me lately. Who was the girl you were petting after you knocked Black?
I wasn't exactly petting. That was Marion Hastings.
Nice looking, isn't she?
I didn't notice particularly.
Maybe it'll start something when you do.
Yeah, maybe you'll stop something in a minute.
She ought to give you an interest in life.
Wrangell River drying up gives me enough interest without worrying about a girl like that.
Like what?
Like, oh, let's not discuss it.
Who's that nut with her this afternoon?
I don't know. He looked English.
He saved you something in the head. I like him.
Yeah, so do I.
That was the girl.
Oh, you take care of the horse.
Oh, Mr. Drake. I want to tell you that although I don't like you, I do like you sending me that letter. I had no idea of my father. I'm so worried.
Thank you, Miss Hastings. Speaking of liking, I'm not exactly fond of you either. Although I do like the fact you obeyed my instructions and came home to make yourself useful.
I didn't obey
Good night, Miss Hastings.
Good night.
Do you know, that reminds me. I know a splendid story about seeing things.
Is this fit for my ears?
Absolutely, Mrs. Abbott. As a matter of fact, this is rather a rib tickler. You see, it starts off with the telephone bell rings.
What telephone?
Oh, any telephone, Mrs. Abbott. And the old man answers the phone.
What old man?
Oh, any old man, just for the sake of the story, you see. Anyway, the old man answers the phone, and he says to the caller, hang on.
Hang on to what?
Oh, dash it all, this is awfully trying. I beg your pardon, so sorry. He says to the caller, hang on. And he skips away, you see, gets his spectacles, comes back, takes up the phone, puts on his spectacles, and says to the caller, now.
Frightfully funny.
It's good. I knew you'd like it.
Absolutely a riot.
Absolutely.
When the wild rose blooms again, with the hawthorn down the lane, and the songbirds sing again.
That's the very song her mother used to sing.
When the woods with flowers are gay, where hand in hand we used to stray, it is then I hope and pray you'll remember me. When the wild rose blooms again, with the hawthorn down the lane, and the songbirds sing again in a twisting tree. When the woods with flowers are gay, where hand in hand we used to stray, it is then I hope and pray you'll remember
You'll need lots more room for your lovely things when the rest of your trunks arrive.
They can stay in the trunks, Abby. From now on, I'm going to stop being merely ornamental and be useful for a change.
Even ornaments have their uses, my dear. And this old house certainly looks as if it could do with one.
Everyone here has been working while I've been playing. There's trouble here, and Daddy has great worries. I'm going to work.
Trouble, you say? You're right, Marion. There's something.
Something ugly. I feel it somehow. Mr. Drake says I'm useless.
Does he?
Yes, and he didn't mince matters telling me either. I think he's hateful. Just a fighting brute.
I think he's quite interesting. Dark-haired. Quite interesting, I thought.
Well, I don't. Why didn't he send for me before? Why didn't he tell me that Daddy was so ill?
Why don't you ask him?
Ask him? I'd rather die first. Useless, am I?
Now come along, get into bed. You can't do anything useful tonight anyway. Useless.
Am I?
Good night, dear.
Good night, Abby. Useless. Am I?
So I've got bad manners, huh?
What's that?
What? Oh, no, nothing. Nothing at all.
Hello there. Removing the grime of battle?
Yeah, I'm just getting some of the slime off my hands.
Drake, I believe.
Yes.
My name's Reginald Morton St. John Carthew Bannister.
What?
But my friends all call me Reggie.
Reggie.
Yes.
Well, Reggie, I want to thank you for saving me from that knock on the head today. It was very nice of you.
Not at all. Dash good fight.
Thanks. But not the sort of thing they teach in the smart finishing schools in England.
Oh, quite right. Quite right. Something they rather lack, don't you think? Hello, I say, what have you got there? Let me give you a hand, huh?
Thanks.
How on earth did you get these?
No, lack of good manners and intelligence, I suppose.
Oh, not a bit of it. That fist is worth its weight in intelligence.
Well, apparently, that's a matter of opinion.
Quite right. Quite right. There we are. How's that?
Fine. You have rather a professional touch. Thanks.
Don't mention it. Well,
Well, I was...
I'm so sorry. Well, good night.
Good night.
I know exactly.
Yes, that's very good indeed. I must remember that.
No, of course.
Queer sort of girl, that.
Minna?
Hmm.
She's all right.
Have you had her long?
No, not long. She belongs to a no-good family living back in the hills on the border of Lawton's place.
Lawton's place?
Yes. He suggested that I take her on account of her father. A beastly fellow.
Oh.
Good morning, Dad.
Oh, good morning, Abby.
Good morning,
Kitty. Yes.
Are you?
Very well, thank you. Good morning.
Yes, here we are.
Thank you, Mr. Bannister.
Allow me to help you.
Thank you very much.
Then.
Down here?
Yeah.
Right.
And where's our fighting overseer this morning? Still asleep?
Asleep? Not Dick. He's been on the job since dawn.
Good heavens. You don't mean to tell me he gets up while it's still dark?
Yes, we've had to work pretty hard since the river started to dry up, draining bog holes, fencing in the most dangerous ones, moving cattle, and so on. I generally go with him, but I've decided this morning to be social and join your special breakfast party.
There'll be no more social breakfasts as far as I'm concerned, Dad. I don't want the station routine upset for me. I haven't been much use in the past, but it doesn't say I can't help in the future.
Absolutely.
Paul.
Well, I mean, jolly good, jolly sporting of Miss Hastings. You know, the local girl makes good.
Makes good what?
Huh? Well, I always she just makes good, that's all.
Oh, that's what I'm asking you, Mr. Bannister. What does she make good?
Well, you see, she pulls her weight with the team and rows a hefty oar. Yeah, sticks by the skipper. Good type, you know.
Very lucid, Mr. Bannister. I understand perfectly.
Yes, I thought you'd get the idea in time.
Where are the boys this morning?
They're bringing in stock from number 3 paddock to the yard for drafting and branding.
Oh, is Mr. Drake with them?
Yes, Dick'll be there.
Oh, dear old Dick. He's a great chap. Don't you think so, Miss Hastings?
I'm afraid I haven't bothered about him, Mr. Bannister.
Hey, Drake, come here.
Hold his head, Joe.
Where you look?
Come on.
Come on, Jimmy, you've broken her neck.
No, it wasn't a neck. Who gave you permission to use this horse, Miss Hastings?
Do I have to get permission to use what belongs to me?
If you don't know how to handle it sanely, yes. You should know better than to put a stock horse to a fence like that. Now, we don't expect you to be of any help around here, so the very least you can do is keep out of trouble. This is your father's favorite horse, and you've hurt it pretty badly.
Don't bother to inquire whether I'm hurt. I quite realize the horse is far more important.
He's far more useful. Come on, Barbar, we'll take him over to the yard and fix that cut and strap it. Miss Hastings.
Oh, it's you.
I'm sorry I was so abrupt. I hope you weren't hurt by your fall.
Does it matter, seeing that I'm so useless?
Perhaps I shouldn't have said that. You see, we're not used to women around here, and that probably accounts for my bad manners. However, we'll let that go for the moment. What's more important right now is that we've got a tough job before us. We've all got to pull together if we're going to accomplish anything. Now, don't you think that under the circumstances, in order to get things done, we might stop hating one another?
I'm not sufficiently interested in you, Mr. Drake, to hate you.
Well, that goes double, Miss Hastings. We both seem to bristle whenever we meet. That doesn't help matters much, does it? Does it? Why, of course it doesn't. Well, look here, Miss Hastings, maybe if you could show me that you could keep out of mischief, I could show you that I have some good manners and intelligence, huh?
You certainly look better when you smile, Mr. Drake.
Funny thing, I was thinking the same thing about you.
Well, What's that man doing over there?
That's a water diviner. Your father's decided to sink a bore, now that the river's drying up.
Come, little divining rod, bend the way that you ought to. Show me where far under the sod there is beautiful water. North, south, east, or west, little divining rod, do your best. Dip your end to it, lead a friend to it, beautiful, bountiful water. Ha ha!
You can use my horse, Miss Hastings, but remember, no more fences. You promise?
Promise?
Give me a leg.
Wait a minute. I'll get you out. Poor little calf. Don't be silly. Come on. Oh, dear.
Lord, what sort of a mess has she got into now?
Mr. Drake! Mr. Drake! Mr. Drake! Oh, a nice fix we're in. You can't get out and I can't get out.
Well, old mud pie Hastings.
Now you've got me doing it. What on earth are you up to now?
I'm trying to get this wretched little calf out.
Can't you keep out of trouble?
Well, I only want to be helpful.
Well, if you don't stop being so helpful, I'll have to detail a man to look after you. Come on.
You've even got mud on your nose.
What about the calf?
You're more important than the calf.
Oh.
To your father, anyway.
Oh.
Come on.
All right, useless. Over the fence. Get on the horse.
I will not.
Miss Hastings, you're under my orders, and you'll take 'em and like 'em. Get on the horse. Wait a minute. Not on my clean saddle.
I hope you can bring her in soon, Jim. The river's completely dry. Have you any idea how much longer it'll take?
I don't know, Dick. It's entirely problematic. She may blow any minute, or she might take 6 months.
Well, we can't wait on an uncertainty like that. I'll go over and have a talk with Dan about moving the cattle. Rush her as fast as you can. And if she does come in, for heaven's sake, blow that siren of yours.
Till she screams, boy.
What are we going to do, Dick?
I'd say our only chance would be to drive them to that water hole in the northern paddock.
Have they the strength to make it?
I hope so. But the worst part of it is that even if we get them there, there's only enough water to last for a week or so.
Yes, and after that.
Well, after that, I don't know, Dan. We've got to start driving them.
She blows! She blows!
Come on, Dan!
All right.
Whoopee! Whoopee! Oh, Mr. Lannister, please!
Hey, come on, come on, hey! There we are.
Marvelous. Well, the funny thing is, yes, all right. Now then, come on. Give me a few strokes.
It's marvelous!
Oh, this is marvelous. I think you know that water's boiling hot. I wonder where it comes from.
Well, according to the temperature, I should think it comes from...
Oh, absolutely, yes. Go ahead.
You can't do that! You can't do that! It's too hot! You can't do it! It's too hot! You can't do it! It's too hot!
Yes, it looks as though I'd have to go to Brisbane. This letter from the meat companies complains of the quality of our last shipment. They say they may have to reconsider our contract if our beef doesn't improve.
But, Daddy, our meat is going to improve. If the bore keeps flowing as it has in the last week, you'll have more water than you can use pouring into the cattle troughs. You haven't anything in the world to worry about.
I say, Dick, what on earth storm coming up?
Yes, but... Oh, storm.
Everybody's in the house.
What about Drake?
Yes, he's there, too.
You get back inside a minute. Quick. All right, boys. We'll leave the horses here.
Cigarette?
No, thank you.
Miss Hastings, I think I owe you an apology. I once said you were purely ornamental. Well, I was mistaken. You're a very useful person. I hope you'll forgive me.
Perhaps I owe you an apology. I questioned your good manners. I hope you'll forgive me.
Granted. So saying, the duelists sheathe their swords, eh? Well, really, Miss Hastings, I don't blame you. It was a difficult spot for a girl like you to be put into.
Like me, sir. You forget I'm an Australian cattleman's daughter.
Well, Australian cattleman's daughter, let's go in.
It was a dashed difficult thing to shoot, I'd say, you know. You know, jolly old kangaroo, bobbing up and down all the time. Yeah, awfully difficult. I'm fearfully keen to have a go at them, really am. Terribly excited. Just like the time I shot my first tiger. I don't think I told you about that, did I, Mrs. Abbott?
You certainly did, Mr. Manister. And about the elephant, and the lion, and the polar bear.
Dash it all, did I say polar bear?
You did, Mr. Manister.
That's right, of course I did, yes, it's right.
Come on, let's get this job over with. Just wait till I'll send the dynamite down to the bottom. Steady, you fool!
I have a feeling this party needs brightening up.
Right. Afraid you'll get a lot of static with this storm.
You know, I was just thinking, dash queer thing, Wrangell River drying up just after you got that contract.
Very. In all the years I've been here, our river's never failed us until now.
I've never seen us dry before.
And your neighbor Lawton, and I suppose he was short of water too.
He says he has enough. His supply comes from the northern hills.
Charming fellow, Lawton. Absolutely.
Well, that's that. Let's go. It's time to let loose in 1 minute.
No, thank you, Miller. Oh, I'll have some more coffee, okay? That's not bad.
Get a cloth, quick.
More thunder? Let's hope we get some rain out of this.
I don't believe we will.
That's jolly strange.
What is, Reggie?
There was no static before that last thunderclap. That wireless has been crackling every time the lightning flashed.
I didn't notice it.
Huh? No, naturally. Of course not. You naughty old thing, you. I know.
Hello? There's some trouble down there at the catch basin.
Outside there is.
Wait a minute. There's your trouble.
Looks like our gush has given up the ghost.
I'll hate the job of telling Dan about this.
It's going to be tough all round.
Run over to the stockyard and tell the boys to saddle up. We're going to move the cattle at once.
I simply can't understand it.
Daddy.
Hello, everybody. Why, what's the matter? Anything wrong? Oh, I see. Your bore's petered out. Yeah, that's tough luck, Dan. I told you it was a bit of a gamble boring for water here, you know. I'm afraid you've lost, Dan.
I don't believe he has, Mr. Lawton.
There's no doubt Lawton's right. The engineer himself said we were only on the edge of the artesian water belt. Well, that's the end of my contract with the meat company.
What are we going to do?
Why, you can always drive your cattle across to my paddocks for water.
Thanks, Donald, but my stock would be worn to the bone driven that distance there and back every day. Dick, I'm afraid we'll have to make the long drive up to the top water hole.
The boys are moving them now, Dan. I'll go along, too. They'll need all the help they can get.
I'll come along and see if I can help. Come on, Daddy, I must change.
I'll be going along, too. By the way, I thought perhaps you and I might get together sometime. You know, I've got a feeling that things aren't quite what they seem around here. Do you feel that? I thought we might sort of rally around the old flag. Cheerio.
Yes, he's the one that I'm worried about. As far as we're concerned, we could face such things without being beaten.
We?
Yes, we. You're fast becoming a tough little cattle hand, Marion.
Oh, well, it's good to hear you say that. Anyway.
Anyway, what do you mean?
Nothing.
Shall we go on?
Reggie, make yourself useful! Cut him out on the left flank!
Is that the last waterhole?
I'm afraid it is, Miss Hastings. We'll camp here for the night, so you better stretch out under those trees and have a spot of rest. What about you, Reggie?
Me? My dear chap, I'm as fit as a fiddle. Oh, dear. However, I might indulge in a little...
Hello. There's some strays along Lawton's boundary line. I'll head them off.
Hey!
I say, it's a Francis. Did you say this was our friend Lawton's boundary?
Oh, yes, Reggie. That fence along there divides the Hastings and Lawton properties. You can see how it cuts across the dried-up bed of Wrangell River below us. Lawton's land extends some distance back into those mountains.
Rather rough and rugged, I'd say. Even tough on a mountain goat. Lawton's land. Well, that's very interesting. Very interesting indeed.
Yes, it's bad country, broken by canyons and gullies. Well, shall we join the others? Reggie, shall we,
Oh, yes, rather. I say, how about a sort of prospecting trip up the riverbed? Might be quite interesting, don't you think?
Cross Lawton's property?
Yes.
I'm afraid that's quite impossible. I tried it myself when the river first started to drop, but I was blocked. Not only by the bush and undergrowth, but also by some very steep cliffs. Now, it's very dangerous up there to both man and beast.
Dick! Dick!
We saw it all from the riverbed. Don't tell me they've killed him.
No, breathing but quite unconscious.
It's his head. He may die. What can we do?
Home, a doctor's the
Oh,
only
yes, we must get him
Don't
home.
worry, Miss Hastings, as fast as the team can make it. Hey, Street, the wagon up here, quick!
Right.
Next work, I'll bet a guinea. All right, Puddin', we'll take a look up the hill for that dingo.
He won't die. He won't die, will he?
Don't worry, Miss Hastings. There's a lot of life in him yet.
I'm very sorry, Mr. Hastings, but in the opinion of the board, you failed to fulfill your contract. We feel that we're justified in contacting with Mr. Lawton.
I understand your situation, Mr. Bryan, but I'm sure that if you give me a little time, the quality of Wrangell River stock will be up to its old standard.
But we've been very lenient with you in the matter of time. Hello? Yes? Mr. Hastings? Yes, he's right here. I'll ask him to speak with you. Long distance call for you, Mr. Hastings.
Hello. Oh, yes, Marion. I took last night's train for Brisbane and arrived this morning. What's that? Drake shot? That's terrible. Oh, it's all right. Thank heaven for that. Yes, I'll come home at once.
Hello, George. Well, Dick's all right, thank goodness. You know, George, I think Miss Hastings is rather keen about old Dick. What do you think? Oh, I see. You refuse to discuss the matter, do you? I suppose by rights I should be packing up. But, you know, I'd give anything to just have one little look at old Lawton's land. If only I had somewhere... wings.
Oh, that's all right, man. I think that's my long-distance call. Thanks so much. Hello. 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 Is that Jack Spinks of Aircraft Limited?
This is Flight Lieutenant Bannister here, RAF, Singapore base. Hello. I want to ask you a favor. I said, do you mind being quiet, please, officer? No, not you, man. No, I was speaking to some friends here. I wonder if you can send a plane up here. A plane to Coombs. Coombs, that's right, yeah. No, not Tombs. No, Coombs. No, this is a village, not a cemetery. Would that be all right? Look, would this... No. I want to take over when it arrives. It will? Oh, splendid. Well, thank you very much. I want to have it up here tomorrow. Yes? Oh, that's fine. That's very, very good of you. Thank you so much, yes. Oh, you little pet. What? Oh, no, man. I was just chatting away. Yes, quite all right. Yes. Well, cheerio. Cheerio. Thank you very much.
What is it?
The best nurses never tell.
Oh, then I guess I'll look.
Don't you dare get out of this bed. You're far too ill.
That's absurd. There's nothing the matter with me. A bullet barely scratched my thick skull.
Mr. Fighting Man, you're under my orders.
But Miss Hastings, if I have...
And you'll take 'em and like 'em, as you once said to me. Thank you, Miller. And now, Mr. Richard Drake, Aunt Abby will be in a moment to look after you while I have my dinner. I'm starving myself.
But Miss Hastings...
My friends call me Marion.
I appreciate that. By the way, I wasn't christened Mr. Drake.
And I appreciate that.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Abbott.
Hello, how's the patient? Look after him, will you, Abby? I'll be back in a minute. And don't let him move.
Mrs. Abbott, would you think I had very bad manners if I asked you to get me my trousers?
No.
Then, will you get me my trousers?
No.
Oh, then I'm coming out of bed.
Don't you dare. Marion will be terribly upset if you do that.
She's very anxious about you.
She is?
Yes.
Very anxious?
Very.
Oh. Well, in that case...
Good evening.
This is a pleasant surprise.
I'm terribly sorry to interrupt your dinner. As a matter of fact, I came to inquire about your man Drake.
Oh, he's quite well. Nothing dangerous. Won't you join me? You're very welcome.
It's awfully nice of you. I'm literally starving.
Miller? Mr. Lawton is having dinner with me.
Yes, miss.
Miss Hastings, there's something that's been bothering me a great deal. Now, somebody seems to have started a silly rumor to the effect that my man Black had something to do with what happened to your overseer. Now, please believe me that any such rumor is ridiculous. Why, I wouldn't have a man in my employ if he was a killer. I'm positive that Black's nothing of the sort, and I'm certain that he had nothing whatever to do with it.
I hope you don't mind having your coffee in here, Mr. Lawton.
Not in the least, as long as you're here with the coffee, Marion. You know, this is the first time I've ever really had an opportunity of being alone with you.
Aren't you being just a little...
No, I don't really believe I am. Do you think so?
Well...
You know, funny thing, the first time I met you, remember that day you arrived? Well, I was terribly pleased.
Really?
You look so cute and smart and attractive and, well, shall we say, sophisticated. You know, we don't get very much of your type of girl in this part of the world now, do we?
Well, I suggest that you, travel, Mr. Lawton.
You know, that's another funny thing. Talking about traveling, I was about to suggest that we might take a trip together.
What?
Over to my place. You know, I think you'd like it. It's very up-to-date and modern. All the sort of thing that you're accustomed to.
I'm afraid I couldn't. I have far too much to do around here. Besides, Mr. Drake's ill, and I must look after him.
Oh, I wouldn't bother too much about Drake, Marion. Now, on the other hand, I'm more the sort of fellow that really needs looking after.
If you don't mind...
Oh, but I do mind terribly.
Will you please leave me alone?
Do you really mean that?
I certainly do.
Well, that's the way you feel about it. Looks as though I made a fool of myself.
Absolutely. Oh, Minnow, I think I'll have coffee in here.
Hello, everybody.
Will you excuse me?
Yes, rather, Miss Hastings. You toddle along. Mr. Lawton and I will have a little chat.
I'm terribly sorry, Manister, but I don't believe that I want to have a little chat.
You're very rude, Mr. Lawton. After all, Mr. Manister is my guest.
I know all about that, but that's no reason why I should stay here and talk to the idiot. If you'll excuse me, I'll go.
Going?
Yes.
Home?
Yes.
Would you mind taking something with you?
What?
This.
Well hit, sir. Caught on the boundary.
I'm a little impatient. I guess it's my nerves.
I think somebody had better help Mr. Lawton to his car, if you haven't broken his neck, Dick.
I'll see him to his car, Miss Hastings, and I shouldn't worry about his neck. There's a bloke in a mask who'll look after that for him later on.
Come along, old boy. Come along.
Thank you. He deserved it.
I'm afraid I spoiled Reggie's fun. I just beat him to it.
Mr. Drake, what are you doing out of bed?
I'm sorry. I was walking in my sleep.
Come on, wake up. Wake up. Come on, boy. That's the boy.
What happened?
Oh, you just took a little nap, that's all. Oh, by the way, any time you feel like asleep, just pop round. We're always in, you know. Good night.
You know, it's fearfully stupid of me to be just sitting here, doing nothing.
Really? I know some men who would consider spending a sunny morning with me a little bit more than doing nothing.
Come off it now. I didn't mean that.
Well, just what did you mean? You're always so vague.
Am I? I mean, do you think so?
I certainly do.
Well, I might surprise you someday and be very direct.
I wish you would, Dick.
What did you say?
I said, I wish you would, Dick.
Wish I would what?
Oh, stop this. Come on, be direct.
What?
Well, ask me something.
Ask you what?
Anything.
All right, I will. Could you, that is, would you?
Yes?
Well, do you think that you could,
What?
make me some tea?
Oh!
Dick! Dick! Dick!
Reggie, what on earth?
Hello, boy, how are you?
But where did you... How did you get... What is this all about?
Listen, old man, I just spotted some marvelous scenery over the mountains, and I came back to pick you up.
Pick me up.
Yes.
Not in your life. I don't ride this sort of horse.
By the tip, I spotted tons and tons of water.
Water?
Yes, absolutely ideal for your cattle.
Then I'll risk it and come with you.
I knew you would as soon as I mentioned cattle. Here you are. Put these on.
A plane, look! He's circling the dam. Yes, right over. Someone's snooping. Looks like hell's going to pop right now. You stay here. I'll ride over and tell off. Right! Hey, boss! Gordon! Here, quickly. A plane has just flown right over the dam.
What? They spotted it, I tell you. That plane hopped right over the dam itself. I not only saw the dam, but they must have seen where we turned the water back on this property of yours. You'd better think fast.
There's only one thing to do, Black, and I'm relying on you to do it. Blow up the face of that dam.
Why, you're crazy. You know what'll happen if all that water's turned loose?
I know what'll happen if we leave that dam as it is. I daren't let that crowd know that I had anything to do with the drying up of Wrangell River.
Maybe you're right.
Hello.
Hello.
Wait a minute. I've got a lot of questions I want to ask you two. Where have you been? Where did you get the plane? And where are you going?
Reggie got the plane to show me a place in the hills where we could water the cattle. We're riding up there at once.
May I come too?
Oh, well, I'm sorry, Miss Hastings. You see, we're in a fearful hurry.
Well, if I can't come, there's something wrong. What is it?
We'll explain when we get back. Come on, Reggie.
I'm coming too.
You're doing nothing of the sort. It's a long and difficult ride and no place for a girl. You stay here and wait for us.
But
I'm sorry, Marion. Come on, Reggie.
Look who's coming. Hello, Drake. How do you feel? How's your head?
I'm all right. Reggie and I are riding up in the hills. When we come back, we'll have a surprise for you.
What have you got on your mind?
You'll find out soon enough.
I got spots before the eyes. Look who's coming.
Well, here I am.
So I see. But this is as far as you go. Watch her, barbed wire. If she tries to follow us again, I'll break your neck. Come on, Reggie.
Howling for water, eh? They'll soon get a bellyful out of this, I'll bet they won't like.
Yeah, we'll give them something to really howl about. fill her in, but be careful how you shovel around that charge.
Don't worry.
Snooping over this dam in a plane. Well, none of that Wrangell River crowd better be snooping up the riverbed when we touch this off.
I say, Dick, Black might try and break away to the north. Hadn't we better separate? That's a good idea, Reggie. You ride straight up the riverbed to the dam. I'll bear to the left up there and go over those hills. Right. Meet you at the dam?
Okay, take care of it, Doc.
Right.
Here's where they get all the water they want. A couple of minutes and hell itself will roll down the valley. Out of here, quick!
Cattle out of here. Where's Marion?
I'm just going after her. She's wiped the horse and got away.
Which way she go?
Straight up the riverbed.
I'll go and get her. Get the cattle out of here. Come on. Marion! 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 Marion!
What's happened?
She was caught with the water. Help me, Barbara. I've got to get her to the homestead as soon as possible.
Where's Manister?
I don't know. The last time I saw him, he was riding up the riverbed. The flood must have got him. He didn't have a chance. Come on, Barbara.
Dan, I'm so glad you've come.
In heaven's name, what's happened since I've been away? I saw it from the bridge. Why, when I left, the river was dry.
I don't know, Dan. A flood came down about an hour ago.
It's a miracle. It'll mean everything to... What's happened, Dick?
My dear.
Take care of her, Mrs. Abbott. She's had a bad time in the flood. You know what to do.
But what's happened?
Lawton had our river dammed up for his own use. He blew up the dam and flooded the valley.
What about Manners?
I'm afraid the flood got him, Dan.
Where do you want to, Dick?
Lawton's.
do you want? What have you come here for?
I've come here to get my share of you before the police get theirs.
What do you mean?
I mean that I've got 3 things to settle. You're trying to steal Dan's meat contract, the drying up of Wrangell River, and the drowning of Reggie Manister. Get up.
No, you won't touch him. You won't. No.
Let go! Well, come and get me, Blake. Well, Blake, how do you like the piece you're getting of me now?
Hey, well, Dick, go to it.
Well-known gangster takes a ride.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dear.
Thank you.
What ho! A Queen Mary.
Well, Wrangell River certainly looks itself again.
Yes, it is beautiful.
It's not the only beautiful thing around here. Marion, there's something I wanted to ask you.
Yes?
I wanted to ask you if you don't think Wrangell River certainly looks itself again.
Yes, I certainly do.
And I want to tell you that I
Yes?
I guess we'll have plenty of water from now on.
Oh, Dick.
Bad manners.
Useless.
Absolutely. Hey!
Quick, quick!